Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video.
9 years ago, my son, who was 14 at that time, accused me of sexually, physically assaulting and abusing him. And I had no proof to defend myself, and his mother also testified that I domestically abused her and forced her to have physical relationships with my co-workers, even when everybody testified that they never had any kind of sexual relationship with my wife, and the whole forcing her to have it is utter BS. She won the case, and even when she was the one who was a drug addict and cheated on me for several years with many other men. So as a result, I got jail time for 7 years and a fine of $100,000 and a restraining order that I had been put on for 2 years after my release. It was for me to keep distance from my son as well as my wife. I got released 3 years ago, and since then, I've been trying to get my life together. I first started working on myself, went to the gym and got therapy on my friend's recommendation, and honestly, it worked wonders on me. And now I have a good job, a good earning side business. I am loved by my girlfriend, and we are about to have our first child in 4 more months. Life has been so beautiful and completely worth the trouble I went through. I was falsely accused of such things, lost everyone and everything, and now look at me. I am living the best life ever. My family believes that I was innocent all along, and I have no motive to ever bring back the people, especially my son and ex-wife, back into my life. And yes, I am no longer under a restraining order, as it was for only 2 years now. I don't really have to watch out for myself and who's around me, and I never tried contacting them, nor would I ever have. I'm not okay and never will be okay for the fact that they accuse me of some heinous crime that I have never committed in my life, and not only accused but also ruined the 9 years of my life and made me out as the bad guy. The suffering and everything traumatizing inside that place is something I would never forget and forgive them for. Yesterday afternoon, a man around 21 years old reached out to me, and the voice felt really familiar, except it was more mature. I cut the call immediately because I knew this will get me on serious issues, and I don't want that. To be more honest, I'm scared that he will do something again and accuse me of some things that I never did, and I will miss out on the life of my child who is yet to be born, and my wife, whom I love so much. He kept on calling, so I asked my lawyer what I should be doing. He told me to pick up the call and record the whole conversation, and maybe if he speaks and admits to all the lies he and his mom had fabricated against me, we can sue them. That was actually a good idea if you think about it, and I really would like to clear my name and sue them for defamation and have that last laugh. They really did ruin my life, and because of that, I lost 7 years of my life. I would love to do that. So I pick up the call after he calls me for the 9th time, and all I can hear is him sobbing and crying, calling me Dad. In 9 years, I have never heard him call that, so of course every memory of us playing with laser swords, baseball, and going to the park and everything came flooding to my mind, and for one moment I forgot all those hardships of 9 years that I went through. But this wasn't the time to be weak, thinking about the good times. No matter how much I hold on to those memories, it doesn't change the fact that they made me a criminal and had me bear all the humiliation that I got. And they did all of these for what? Honestly, I myself don't know why my son would actually do all that to me. For my wife, I understand. She got into drugs and started fooling around with other men and needed money. But my son had literally no reason to do that to me, because I always tried my best to be the best possible dad to him, because it was my duty and responsibility. Okay, I wasn't the best dad for sure, but I tried, right? But he remained ungrateful. After he starts speaking, it gets more clearer and clearer as he speaks. He is crying, apologizing, and asking to give him one more chance in his life, or at least he deserves to give an explanation, and asks if I could meet him in person and talk, because he wants to see me and he regrets doing whatever he did with me. I told him okay, and told him I would send him time and place through text that would be okay. The restraining order isn't in place anymore. I have completed my time period for that, and as I have talked to my lawyer before, and he's told me that he's already updated it into the papers, so there was no way I could get into further legal trouble unless my liar son decides to lie again. My lawyer told me to record the conversation secretly, and if possible, making a video would be nice too. Then I texted him the place that we decided a public cafe would be nice because he tries to plot something to make him look like the victim. We would have proof to defend ourselves by using the people around. We are to meet this Sunday, and I honestly can't know all his explanation and directly put him off my life. My wife is scared, but she also wants me to clear my name so I could go back to living a respectable life in society. And about a little background, on my previous marriage, it was just miserable. I was adjusting every day, bearing with her cheating, just because I didn't want my child to be from divorced parents, dealing with her crazy drug antics and her stealing and crap. So in total, it was miserable, like really miserable from all directions. Right now, when I'm typing this, it's Sunday evening. And we met today in the morning, and as pretty much the day is done and gone, we too have concluded a lot of things. So my previous wife had died 5 years ago from a drug overdose. And since then, my son has been living in very tight conditions. So if you see the pattern, you can tell that he just saw me doing well and thought to himself that I would help him out financially, so he decided to step in at the right time. Okay, it was all just to fulfill his own selfish desires and be the left-put person who is nice but desires nothing but drama and being the victim. When he had time for explaining himself, he told how I was the best father and how he gave into his mom's false planning and traps and had decided his mother because he was a guy and his mother had taught and rehearsed the whole thing in the court, and if he did say that, the mother baited they would start being more financially stable and live a better life than they did. So it completely made sense why the son had lied about the whole thing. The more I thought about it, the more I realized how he really had nothing to say in all these, but it was my wife who manipulated everything and made evidence against me. I told him to get back home and just let him do what he was supposed to and told him that I forgave him. And when he walked away, he talked about reconnecting. I said a firm no, because he isn't that trustworthy till now. I told him to get back home and let him do what he was supposed to and told him I forgave him, and when he talked about reconnecting, I said a firm no, because he isn't that trustworthy till now. My lawyer and I have enough evidence to clear my name back, and we have a recording of my son saying if he goes to the police station and says everything, would I take him back into my life? It was all completely complicated, and when I told my wife about everything that happened, she was scared if I would go back to the point of being an idiot and trusting my son again, which I ain't doing anymore. So I don't know if this will be significant to many, but we actually took the defamation trial to the court against my son, and through all the proofs we have won the defamation trial, and we are also going to get him the deserving punishment for lying under oath to the jury and putting heinous claims against me, and I don't care. I don't miss him. I want him to get what he deserves for ruining my life. His age doesn't matter. You all assumed he was 21, but in reality is actually 23, so it's a good time for him to lose 2-3 years of his life and realize how it felt. And he has $50,000 to pay in fine, and he has tried being in contact, but guess what? I would be keeping my distance. I just don't care. He could have taken a stand for me a little sooner and saved my life. He had the power, but he didn't, and made the free will decision to ruin my life. So here he goes, getting what he deserves. And we have our daughter with us now. She was born 2 days ago. She is completely healthy and fine. She's a brunette with blue eyes, so she would be breaking hearts when grown up. So we're all happy in every way. I don't know about the law, but wasn't the son like 15 when he testified and lied, when he said all that to accuse OP? No, I am happy, but he was just a child, so yeah, maybe he should have let it go and got over the fact and Started being distant, the distant one, and for all? I see no wrong here. He got what he deserved, and in the USA prisons, if you go in for woman and child abuse cases, life inside prison isn't easy. OP coming out of the prison is a flex itself. Don't let them get closer to you and protect you and your family. If he keeps on trying to get a restraining order against him, it will be better that way. I hope you do better in your life from now on. Sue them, King. Okay, so I'm a 17-year-old male. I'm not a fan of my stepmom. I understand she's an adult and I show her the respect that I need to. Other than that, I've tried to avoid her for the last 5 years. I try to maintain as minimum of a relationship with her as I can. My dad has talked to me about this and I refuse to change. She's a lovely woman and I respect her, but I have a mom, and even though she's dead, she's still my mom. She tries really hard to get me to do stuff with her, like go to sports games or go to the movies with her. I respectfully decline and mind my own business. I usually skip out on group family activities and just hang out in my room and read. This drives my dad nuts, since I'm the only one of 3 kids not participating. I always tell him I'm not bothering anyone by chilling in my room and reading or watching Netflix. I don't like participating because I don't want to play happy family with people I'm not close to. Also, it's painful doing a family activity without my mom. My dad tries to say that my step-siblings are dealing with the same feelings, but they honestly aren't. They have a mom and a dad. Yesterday, my stepmom offered to take me out for dinner and I declined. She completely broke down crying. I was shocked, and she explained how hard she's trying to be a mother to me and that all I do is push her away. I responded by letting her know that I don't want that and that I already had a mother. She said that she really cares about me and I just treat her like crap. We argued for a while. My dad walked in on us and told me to get out of the house until he told me I could come back. Keep in mind we rarely fight, so my dad took it very seriously. When I got back, he took away the door to my room, my Xbox, which I paid for with my own wages, and my laptop, I also paid for, which I need for school. I especially need it because I have an online final for school next week and all of the review material is online. He knew this, and that pisses me off. I knew where he hid my laptop, and I grabbed it along with a few pieces of clothing and left. I drove to my grandma's and explained what happened. She said that I'm free to stay with her as long as I want, but no matter what, I need to acknowledge that I've been acting like a dick to my stepmom. I don't think I'm acting like a dick. I think I've made it clear I don't want a relationship with her, and no one respects that. I'm planning on staying with her until Wednesday, so I can use my laptop for the online final without fear of it getting taken. AITA? NTA, as long as you're being truthful about being respectful when you decline outings and family activities. You are not looking for a mother figure in your life, and you're also 17, which is old enough to choose that for yourself. You're also not impeding or interrupting their family activities. With that said, you're almost 18. Your dad and stepmom are not obligated to house you or provide for you in any way after that, so keep that in mind when making decisions. Is the possibility of losing that support worth it to you? Avoiding spending time with your father, stepmother, and stepsibs when they are all decent people because you don't want a new family, you want your mother 5+ years after she died, suggests that you are still stuck in a bad place in your grieving and probably need grief counseling. If that is so, NaH, but if your father doesn't get you into therapy, he will be TA. Quick background. I've been in a 4-bedroom house for a while now, but my roommates just signed a lease. There's 3 of us in a 4-bedroom. The 4th bedroom is our living room. When I listed the place on the roommate search Facebook group, I listed it as a 3-bedroom and made it clear that it's a living room, not a 4th bedroom. My roommate John, signed lease at the same time as Harry, room is locked. He isn't here for the summer, but is paying rent. He's using it as storage. My other roommate, Harry, moved in 3 weeks ago. He's been good so far. He has a girlfriend that will come over every 3rd day during the first week. And, OFC, I didn't care at all. Starting a week after we moved in, she started spending most nights of the week here. Harry is pretty responsible and clean, but she is not. It's annoying, but I just brush it off. What happened recently prompted me to write this post. Last week, she moved the desk. She has a hybrid job. From Harry's room. He only does homework at the uni library. I assume it's so that she can focus on her work when he is watching TV in his room. Last Thursday, while I was watching TV in the living room, she asked me to leave because she had work to do. This really annoyed me, as it's our living room. But I didn't want to argue, so I left and she locked the door. Since then, she has taken over the living room and not allowed anyone in during the day. What bugs me the most is that while it's a 4-bedroom place, I didn't advertise it as a 4-bedroom while I looked for roommates because it's the only living space in the house. My room and the kitchen are very small, and I wasn't going to give that up. Also, she isn't on the lease. WIBTA if I told her that she could pay rent if she's going to take over a room? It is frustrating as rent isn't cheap where I live, big city in Canada, and she has taken over the only place where we can relax in the house, all while not paying any rent. I talked to Harry a few hours after I posted. He agreed that she isn't allowed to act like she lives here because she is his guest. We decided that she should do work from home where she can focus better. We moved the desk back while she was at her house, and she apologized to me for kicking me out of my living room. That was this morning. I haven't seen her again today, but I think all is well. Thanks everyone for your input and support. You definitely helped me, considering I bet she would have paid rent if she had the option, to which it would have been a nightmare. NTA, don't even make it an option for her to pay rent because she will only get worse. Tell her that room is common space for people on the lease and she has no right to dictate who uses it when. Talk to Harry and tell him that his girlfriend staying over occasionally is fine, but her keeping you from using spaces in the house that you pay for is not okay. Check your lease for rules about guests, people staying there not on the lease. Most standard leases have boilerplate about that. NTA, but do it quick and stand firm in your convictions about it. That slow to take over is super manipulative, and the fact that she's entitled enough that she's comfortable telling you to leave a room in a house that you pay for is very telling. She's going to cause trouble the minute you deny her access to what she wants. I wouldn't even ask her to pay rent. Do you really want to give up your living room and deal with her? Tell her to take her work home. Your house is not her personal office. She really needs to hear the word no and accept it.